Hey Leo, welcome to your reading. I'm Empress Rose. These are general readings, so we're taking what works and leaving what doesn't, as with everything in life. And if I don't catch your wavelength or storyline on this reading, you can check other major placements, or even if I do, check your other major placements, see if there's more you can get from those ones. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus are considered major placements, but I also like to add in anything that you find fascinating, any placement that you just, hey, you're almost there. Any placement that you find fascinating or interesting, or you just learned about, that kind of thing. All right, we're starting off with an intuitive vibe from these oracle cards. We have Moonology and Work Your Light mixed in together. They're just all one big pile here. I think we got what we're going to get here. And then after that, we'll move on to the Golden Tarot for a more... for a more traditional tarot reading. Okay. Alrighty. We have the initiation, rite of passage, crossing a threshold. So this can represent so many different things, birthdays, anniversaries, but also just something that everybody has to go through, some sort of experience that, I don't know, join the club. But we've all been there, we've all done that. I can think of so many examples, it's hard to just pick out just one. Let's say you're an actor and you get 3 callbacks and don't end up getting the job, which is really strange if you get 3 callbacks. But rite of passage, that's what it is. Everyone's going to have that story eventually about thinking they almost had something and didn't, or having, so whatever profession you're in or whatever you do, or whatever's going on in your life, there's some sort of rite of passage here. It might seem a little scary or seem a little dangerous or iffy or ugh, I did not like that. Probably not rites of passage. This is almost like a, hazing is terrible, but this is almost like hazing from the universe or something. Like, okay, now you're in the club. Now you're in this club. Now you're one of us. You survived that. You also have conclusions are within reach. Oracle cards generally tend to be extremely positive, extremely supportive. That's one reason why I like them. I think we could all use more of that. And these are positive and supportive statements for you. Some of them are very specific, though, and are like time-oriented and that kind of thing. I'm not saying that these are just generally good cards. But it is interesting because neither one of these cards looks too good to me, right? Like, generally, we can get some positive messages. Timing messages, where you're at in some sort of process. But these are 2 a little bit scary, creepy looking cards for you, Leo. We've got some scary moments here, or scary seeming, or I don't know, spooky, some sort of spooky, weird vibe here. I mean, but they're decent messages. Initiation, you're crossing a threshold, right? You're going from a scarier spot to a much better spot, a much safer spot, happier spot. You're going from like a nightmare to like a day at the beach here, right? So this is a rite of passage, crossing some sort of threshold. Something's, and you're on the journey. You're providing the movement forward. And so this is almost, I want to say a consensual initiation. I was talking about hazing, but this is sort of something that you've agreed to, that you want to get to this beach, you want to get to this better place, so you have to go through this threshold initiation, rite of passage type of thing. Like, all right, and then once you're done, I'm not going to say that it's sunny and beautiful and gorgeous on the other side of this, but you do go to a new world, and it is you are initiated sort of into a different level or a different arena, right? So, and then full moon eclipse conclusions are within reach. So this means that sort of an opening or a door is closing. These are like, this always reminds me of like bars, prison bars coming down. That something's closing out, an opportunity for something is ending. Some sort of, I feel like once you go through this threshold, it's going to shut, but the door is going to shut behind you. I don't think you can come back. I don't think why you'd want to, but I don't think you're going to be able to return back to where you were before or who you were before you go through this sort of initiation rite. It's a rite of passage. Rites of passage are like that vascular system that we have in our legs. You know, gravity would love to pool all of our body, all of our blood into our feet, and we'd have big, giant, bulbous feet. But instead, we have this sort of interesting system where the blood goes up and then the chamber closes behind it so it can't slide back down, right? So the blood pumps up, our heart does that job, pump, and then close, and it can't go back down because we have a valve right there. So that's a little bit of the kind of growth or the kind of experience you're going to be having. Sort of the universe, you're the blood in this metaphor. The universe is squeezing you, pushing you up into the next chamber of your journey, and you don't get to go back. That chamber, that door closes behind you and locks. I can almost hear the shoot, and then the key. It's a very clunky key. It's all metal. There's a lot of clinking going on here. So yeah, so rite of passage, you're leaving some sort of prison and the door is closing behind you, thank God. So you can't go back. This is not a revolving door back to the prison that you're coming from, but this is shutting you off from, it's a moment of no return, really. I keep trying to not like be freaked out or like say it's scary, but here we go. It's a moment of no return. You got the two scariest cards in the deck. Yes, this is very reassuring, Empress Rose. Thank you. And your dreams need a practical plan, full moon in Taurus. You might have been resting a little, sitting back a little, but it's time to get organized, plan, list, get off your ass. Your full moon in Taurus, your dreams need a practical plan. So conclusions are in reach, but you may need to do some organization, some planning, some figuring stuff out. Full moon in Taurus. You'd really think that would be the new moon in Taurus. New moon in Taurus is like prosperity arrives. But this full moon in Taurus, something's come to fruition, a fullness. And maybe the dream, the dream is complete, but now what? Now what are you going to do? All right, Leo. This is your past, your present, your inner landscape, what's at issue, your environment, your to-do list, and your possible outcome. Whoa, that Justice card has shown up in that same place multiple times this week. In the recent past, you have dealt with justice or injustice, some sort of balance issue. So because it's an issue, it could be imbalance or balance, truth or honesty, dishonesty. The scale seems tipped a little towards the bad guys. And we've got angels here helping you deal with some justice issues. This could be dealing with the justice system. Wow, and I just got all that prison imagery. But you could be dealing with the justice system as wonky and occasionally unjust as it is. It is represented by this card. Or you could have just had to deal with some sort of injustice. You could have had to, there might have been some sort of karmic imbalance here that needed to be paid off, but fairness and justice were on your mind. Man, you got a lot of big issues here. I mean, not a lot, but we've got justice, strength, the Hanged Man, and death as major arcana. So in this reading, so justice has required a lot of fairness, and there's not a lot of movement, not a lot of not a lot of movement here. In fact, that's exactly what the issue is not a lot of movement, but you're getting there, Okay, so then in your current situation, you have the strength card. Whatever situation you're in right now is requiring all of your inner strength and patience. Oh my gosh, are you sick of it? Do you not even want to be doing this anymore, is what I feel like. But it's requiring all of your patience, all of your strength, like an infinite amount patience and strength in this situation. Yeah, a lot of, it's like you've had to be a well-trained, a very well-trained, well-controlled. You have a wild animal inside you that really wants to charge forward, but the situation that you've been in has trained it. This is like the pains of becoming more patient as a person, and all the things you go through that make you more patient, all the rash mistakes and crazy shit you do when you're impatient, and then the consequences of all of that, which could be this justice card. And now you're like, yeah, I'm sitting here on my hands. I'm not moving. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not doing what I want to do. I want to charge forward. I want to rush the stage. I want to do something here. And I'm really just a wild animal trapped in a human's body. That's what I feel. That's where you're at right now. Very impatient feeling. I mean, because patience is really one of those concepts where we don't actually need patience. We don't even have a word for it until we start becoming impatient. You don't even think about it. You're just like, yes, I'm waiting. I'm waiting. Oh, I'm waiting. I'm waiting. And then as soon as you start saying, yes, I'm patiently waiting, just that patiently, huh? I don't know. It's like a really ironic word to me, because people only ever use it when they feel impatient, but know that they have to continue waiting and not like dump over the tables and just go back to the kitchen at the restaurant and get their own fucking food already. So impatiently waiting, impatiently waiting, using all of your inner strength here. Yeah, pretty frustrating situation, I guess. But I guess that's your initiation. That's your rite of passage. I guess everybody that goes through whatever you're going through has this long waiting period. And then what's on your mind is 5 of Coins, a sense of poverty. You feel like you don't have enough. Other people have a lot more. I feel like 5 of Coins is often a card of jealousy. I'm not appreciating what you do have, but being focused on what you don't have. So you could be worried about actual poverty, or you could be in a poverty mindset where there might be plenty to go around, but you're just very focused on what you didn't get, what you don't have. So you could be also, because it shows up in your hopes and fears, it shows up as sort of an inner focus thing of everything you don't have, but it could also be worried about being impoverished. Like maybe if you're rash, if you do, rush forward the way you'd like to, you're afraid you might end up in poverty of some kind, right? What's interesting about the 5 of Coins, especially the way this particular card depicts it, is he has support. He has a loving support here. He is accessing the safe place and the sanctuary. What he does not have is good, warm clothing. What he does not have is the money. Even though it's near him, it's not his. So you could be very worried about losing money, not having money. There's also a jealous vibe and a focus on a lack of abundance, a focus on lack. Instead of an abundance mind frame, you could be struggling with a lack mind frame. What's at issue here is a major transition that has not happened, that is not happening. This major transition has not occurred. It's sort of, death is also the birth card, so there could be a birth coming here, but I feel like it's not coming in very well. It's like yes, you're stuck in the birth canal. You're stuck on the threshold. You're trying to cross this threshold and it's not going very well. You're stuck someplace in that threshold. This is why you're requiring all of this strength to stay still, to stay put, because you were expecting a new beginning. You were expecting an ending, a new beginning, a major transition in your life, and it's trapped, right? Because this is why we're getting the conclusions are within reach card, right? Something is coming, an ending is coming, a conclusion is on its way. However, like this is like you're watching a movie and right as it gets to the end, your internet goes out and now you're stuck, or your DVD has a scratch on it, as used to happen, or your VHS player eats the tape. And so there's been a big pause. You almost got the payoff, but I love this card, this initiation card, because although it looks scary to me, there's a little bit of humor in here. As in like, yeah, yep, that's how it goes. Things get fucked up. You gotta like have patience and deal with the justice system, or this isn't, you're sort of stuck crossing the threshold, I believe, because this death card should be the same as this card, right? In the upright, this threshold, but I feel like we're stuck here. And I do like the humor in this card, even though your situation clearly is not very humorous in and of itself. It is an initiation. It is like, yeah, there's glitches. There's glitches. It's like expecting, I don't know, like rehearsing for a play and everything's going really well, except for your dress rehearsal has every glitch possible, every glitch imaginable. Instead of taking 2.5 hours, it takes 5. Everybody's grumpy, everybody's angry. That's literally the best dress rehearsal you can have, because it works out all the kinks and everybody is really on for opening night because everybody is aware of all the stuff that could go wrong in front of the audience. So no thank you. It causes that sort of difficulty in birthing this creative work. It causes it to be better. So to me, it's just like, if you have a rehearsal like that, nobody in the moment is having a good time, but it is kind of funny. But it is good because it works out a lot of kinks and a lot of glitches. So I'm getting the feeling that you're kind of trapped in this threshold. This is a rebirth, a major life change that is not moving. It's not moving. It's going to move. You're going to come to some sort of conclusion. It is going to end. This process is going to end. You will be crossing the threshold. But for now, you're stuck there for a while. Yeah, you're stuck in the birth canal for a while here, and everybody else made it through, but not you, and this is taking all your strength. In your environment here, you have 3 of Swords, something heartbreak. Heartbreak is going on in the environment. Could have been some truths or some words were spoken that came in, and there's a lot of heartbreak here. A lot of pain here. Yeah, I mean, that's why these cards are so dark. They all have like light, but it's a little bit of the light and there's barriers to that light and it's at a distance. So, it seems like things are at a distance. This would be like you're being born and there's the light of the room, except for there's like, what the hell? There's something blocking your way. You can't get through. You can't get through. It's kind of a classic issue, a classic problem to have. Yeah. You're going to have to rethink something, I think. Figure out a different way through. A different plan, maybe. Anyway, so in your environment, you have 3 of Swords. There's heartbreak. There's pain. Your environment is very painful right now. It is not, nobody's having a good time. Yep, storm clouds here. Storm in the heart. Very painful. Your to-do list. Oh, you're going to love this. This reading is not great, but you can take it for whatever it is. Maybe it's great for you. But it's got these little tidbits of humor in it that are lightening it a little bit. Like this threshold, this threshold you're crossing that's not going well. It's like this classic problem. So there's a little bit of, yeah. And then we have right underneath, like, oh my God, when is this going to end? I'm using all of my strength to be patient and quiet here and wait. And then underneath that, you get the Hanged Man hanging out hanging out. So that's your to-do list, hanging out. The blood rushes to your head. So you're thinking, this is what this is about. You're hanging out here. You're kind of stuck here. You're kind of stuck. Okay, this is all about a situation you're trying to get out of, but it's stuck. It's all stuck. Nothing's moving here. Your dreams need a practical plan. Well, that's good thing all the blood is rushing to your head, because you'll be able to come up with a practical plan with all of that great blood. Oh my gosh, we were talking about the vascular system, and now you're hanging upside down, and all that blood, so the vascular system seems pointless right now, and all that blood is rushing to your head because we don't have a vascular system that keeps it the opposite direction, like everything's sort of topsy-turvy here. So you're hanging out here, figuring stuff out, figuring shit out. You're not moving. You're still not going to be able to move, but this situation that you're in that is stuck, you're figuring out, it's time to, it's giving you an opportunity to figure something out. It's giving you a pause, and even though you don't want to be here, you're feeling impatiently patient, you want to get things moving, this is forcing a pause for you to rethink something and figure something out and figure out your next step. So in the Hanged Man, nothing's happening physically, except everything that's happening is up here. You're figuring out how to free yourself, figuring out how to get through this passage, figuring out how to conclude this, or how to bring this about, how to bring this rebirth about. Because I think you need to get a practical plan. This is giving you, this pause here is giving you the opportunity to get the practical plan. So your job is to hang tight, hanged man, hang tight. Your job is to hang tight and rethink a couple things, rethink a couple details. Because this isn't transitioning the way you wanted it to. This transition isn't going the way you wanted it to. So you got to rethink a few things here. Where you're going. Knight of Wands. This is a little bit of a rash night here, but you might, what I'm thinking we're talking about here is you continuing to have to hang out, even though you're at your wit's end and you've already used up all your strength on the waiting game that you've been in before. Conclusions are within reach. You are sort of trapped on this threshold. You're sort of trapped here, sort of stuck, but you do need to rethink something and come up with a new plan. And then I think when you move fast. Our Knight of Wands is a very fast-moving character. Knights are going to be about communication. They're also about bravery. They're about courage. They're about, they take risks. So you're going to move fast. You're with a message. There will be a message coming in. It could be you, it could be someone else. This could also represent an actual person with an actual message coming towards you. So there's going to be some sort of communication, and there will be communication. It will come in very quickly. It'll be very inspired, a little bit brave. The distance between brave and rash is written in sand and moves constantly. So that line between those two, not the distance, the line between those two moves constantly, depending on the outcome, really. So there is going to be some communication coming in. Either you're going to communicate your idea, whatever new idea you have, or there's going to be a communication that moves things quickly. But for now, you're hanging out, and my goodness, are you ready for that to be over? But you've got this big major transition going on in your life, and there's been some kind of glitch, some sort of hang up. Which is funny because you're the Hanged Man, right? Okay, let's see here. Oh my goodness. I feel like I have never seen this card before. There it is. The divine plan is always happening. Oh, I love this. I love this. Even if all appears to be going backwards at an alarming rate, do not give in to doubt. Do not dispense with trust. Oh my gosh, this is reminding me of the blood flowing one way, and then now that we're in the Hanged Man position, things are moving so slowly they feel like they're going backwards. The ocean appears to pull back in order to build another wave that will soon reach the shore. So it is with the unfolding of life. Here's your wave coming in. There's just a receding. So it is with the unfolding of life, the mysterious workings of grace, trust unconditionally and celebrate. Wow, that's a really beautiful message to end this frustrating reading. Very frustrating. I can see why this would be a very frustrating thing to go through. All right, Leo, I hope you have a wonderful week. Thank you so much for your likes, subscribes, and comments. Yeah, best wishes. Good luck.